Hello everyone, my name's James Folino and I'm here to bring you another edition of the Gold Coast Property Auction and Sales Results. This week we'll be covering the week of the 29th of November up until the 5th of December. Like we do every week, we'll go through some of the clearance rates Australia-wide, and then we'll break it down and have a look at some of the properties that were sold. So let me just share my screen for you guys and we'll get straight into it. So let's do that now. And let's go straight to the auction results for the weekend in the 5th of December. As you can see, last week when we reported on it, Victoria and New South Wales may have dipped slightly but with their clearance rates. But again, that could have been because of the volume of auctions that they had. Victoria and New South Wales are both nice and strong again and back up above 80%. When we look at that with volume for Victoria, you're looking at about a total of 2,600 properties. And for New South Wales, we're looking at about 2,400 properties that transacted. When we go into Queensland, and that's what we're going to do now, Queensland had a strong clearance rate of 81%. As you can see, there was 136 sold at auction, which gave that clearance rate of 81%. But the big one for Queensland is the private sales being at 1,755, and that's giving Queensland a total of about just under 1,900 properties that are sold. So again, when you look at these clearance rates and what's happening with sales volume, again, it's been quite steady all year, and if anything, it's ramping up a little bit. So even though the media may be suggesting that it's dropping off, when we look at volume of sales, it is still very strong, and if not increasing, especially in Victoria and New South Wales at the moment. So let's get straight into it. We're going to have a look at some properties mainly priced below 500,000, but there are some others that have come into this that I've seen during the week that I just wanted to mention for today. So this is the first one that we're going to look at, and this one here was at 24 Black Wattle Circuit in Arundel. This was a house. This was on a smaller block of land, 340 square metres. It wasn't in an estate where there was a body corporate of about 55 per week. This was a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car home. Rental return was $550 at the moment, but it was going to increase up to $600 on the next lease. And this one here in Arundel, this one here sold for $580,000. The next one we're going to look at is another house. Again, it's slightly over that 500 mark, but for finding houses with land, it's very hard at the moment. This was at 17 Alma Street in Southport. This was a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1-car home. Not many pictures. It was probably bought for land value and as a knockdown. And this one here in Southport sold for $700,000. The next one we're going to look at, we're going to go back to Arundel, and we've got this one here. This was at 27/113 to 115 Arundel Drive. This was a duplex. This was a double-story duplex. It had a current rental return of $440 a week. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car home. It did have a body corporate attached as well. So this was at $77 per week, the body corporate. And this one here sold for $455,000. The next one we're going to look at, we're going to move along to Chevron Island. I don't really like to sort of go towards the 1-bedroom units, but this one was pretty good value. This one was at 48 Stanhill Drive, Chevron Island. This was a 1-bed, 1-car, 1-bath property, had a swimming pool. Body corporate was $72 per week. And this one here, this little 1-bedder, sold for $235,000. The next one we're going to look at is this one here in Carrara. This was at 4/42 Merev Way in Carrara. This was a townhouse. This was 3-bed, 1-bath with 1 car, 1 garage, extra room for a car space, and it did also have a powder room. This one was a total of 14 squares, brick and tile with a pool in the complex. Currently rented at $395 a week, and this one here sold at $420,000. We'll move along. We're going to go to Southport now. We've got this one. This was at 6/75 Benoa Road in Southport. This was a 3-bed, 2-bath, double garage townhouse. We're only one of 10 in a secure gated complex. I'm not sure of the body corporate on this one. It wasn't advertised, but this one was sold at $545,000. We're going to move to Surfers Paradise now, and we've got this one here. This was at 6/9 Monaco Street in Surfers Paradise. It had a low body corporate. It was in a block of 8 on 800 square metres. meaning that the purchasers would have ownership of over 100 square meters. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I'll show you some other stuff later on, and you can see that having some kind of land content would probably be very advantageous in the future. This had a low body corporate, and this one here sold for 328,000, and this was a two-bedder. So for a two-bedder, that's pretty good buying there. The next one we're going to look at is this one here. This was also in Surfers. This was at 10/9 Holborough Close in Surfers Paradise. It was a two-bed, one-bath, one-car property. It's been renovated. Body corporate was only 45 per week. This was actually riverfront, so you did have some lovely riverfront views on this one. The return is estimated at between 420 and 450 per week. And this one here in Surfers sold for 410,000. The next one we're going to look at is this one here in Labrador. This was a townhouse, 3-bed, 2-bath with 2-car accommodation in a block of 18. Body corporate here was 70 per week. As you can see, double story, brick and tile. There was a pool in the complex. This was currently rented at 520 per week. And this townhouse in Labrador in Brown Street, this sold for 518,000. Got a couple more to look through. We're going to have a look at this one. Again, slightly over that 500 mark, but this was at 23 Pine Hill Drive in Oxenford. It's a house. It's on 650 square meters of land. It was a 4-bed, 2-bath, 1-car home. It's been renovated, really well looked after, brick and tile. And this one here sold for 687,500. We're going to look at a farm next. This was in Tamborine. This was on 2.5 acres. It had a little cottage on it. It's got plenty of fruit trees. It had a dam on the property. And this one here at 124 Naylor Drive. So anyone wanting that kind of farm lifestyle, just an hour away from the Gold Coast, this was for you. And this one here sold for 730,000. This one was a little bit high, but I just wanted to show you this one. This is probably one of the cheaper waterfront properties I've seen for quite some time. This one here was in Bigger Waters. As you can see, it was advertised as a duplex, but from that land, you can see it does have that attached wall there, but you do have this huge water frontage. So you've got a really long water frontage. You've got your house there. You've got your pontoon. You've got plenty of ample room here for a larger garage or to place something there. This was a brick and tile place, still fairly original. Well looked after. That has been updated, the bathrooms, one of the bathrooms as well. Lovely al fresco area. And this one here in Bigger Waters, this one here sold for 1,040,000. So for a waterfront property, this was a really good buy. The next one I would look at is this one here. This was a block of units that sold in Broad Beach. The price was huge. It's a 500 square meter block. It's got 4 older style 2-bedroom units. Now, the price was 4.25 million. So in other words, it was over 1 million per 2-bedroom unit. If it was bought for land value, again, now in Broad Beach, close to the water, the height limit is unrestricted. So potentially there could be a medium or high rise going up on this, but it equates to maybe a Broad Beach record at being at $8,500 per square meter. So again, if these were individually owned and amalgamated, each owner received over $1 million for their older style 2-bedroom unit. As you can see, the location was fantastic. But yeah, that was the pricing on that one. Then the other one I want you to see is this one here. This was in Mermaid Beach. This was another block of units. This one sold, again, 400 square meter block, and this one sold just under 3 million. So this equated to over 7,000 a square meter. There's been 2 properties recently in Mermaid Beach that have sold for this kind of money. Maybe we were talking earlier in the year that it was 6,000 a square metre. So potentially over the last 6 to 12 months, Mermaid Beach land value has kept increasing as well. And the last one we're going to look at is this one. This was a block of land with a permit for two townhouses in Palm Beach on the Gold Coast Highway. This sold for just under 1.3 million, meaning that the raw value or per site was about 650,000 per townhouse before build costs. So yeah, just to show you a couple of them. That's the report for this week. I hope I've been of some assistance. If you need any help with your property purchasing or property values, don't hesitate to give me a call. Otherwise, until next week, good luck with your hunting, and I'll see you then. Have a great one.